Hey, good morning, kids. It's Mark Miller here. Welcome. Let me know how my sound is doing here. I've got some new sound equipment here, and interested to know if we're how the broadcast is looking and how it's sounding. Cool. Let's jump out of here and get into some code and get started in it. Today we're going to add persistence to our D&D map spike. As usual, I really don't prepare for the show at all. I just have a general idea of what I'm going to do. And so we're going to have to figure out, I'm going to have to figure out serialization again. I think I'm going to do that with Jason. So I've got that sense. I have a sense that I have data I'm reusing all over the place that'll be inefficient in my storage, and so I want to use the Flyweight design pattern. Let me just adjust the light over here a bit. How's that? Maybe drop it down. There it is right there. That's a little bit better. So I'm looking for opportunities to use the Flyweight design pattern, and that's kind of what we're headed to do today.
Surely Dev is in the house.
He puts the surly into Surly Dev. He isn't fast, but he loves fasting, even though he never likes to talk about it. He can write these introductions as well as Will Bennett. Sad. It'll just play with the drones instead. Rory Becker says he's not going to be able to make it today to expand to do additional. Wait. Oh, no, wait, hold on. He's saying he can't expand to do additional shows. So I was talking about maybe doing a show on Friday. I respect that. Says the wife has become quite protective of our evenings. I'm going to say I respect that, buddy. I just typed in I respect buddy. I'm going to say I respect that, buddy. How about I respect instead of that, buddy? I'm going to type in I respect that, comma, buddy. All right, there we go. Just edited several times. So, hey, AJ 2017 is with us. Glad to have you with us, AJ 2017. Whoa, dude, come on. Trying to bomb me while I'm trying to meteor shower me while I'm doing my show. Welcome. And I'm still working one monitor short of what I normally do. Sound is a bit loud and clippy. Thanks. That's what I want to know. This is my mic. I'm dropping it down. Is that any better? Is that any better? Let me know. Tell me, is that better? A bit more, please. Okay, I'm taking it down there. Hold on, let me look over here. Yeah, that one looks okay. Yeah, I've got a whole crazy setup over here with a whole bunch of equipment, and that's what I'm trying to do. Trying to adjust that. Does the sound any better that time? That's definitely my mic. And do I have any effects going on? Not really. Ooh, I do have some gain on it. Hold on, though. I've got gain cranked up. Let me crank my gain down. Check it. Let's crank up volume back up. So what is that? Yeah, my gain is high. Now, how's this? That's doable. Yeah, so if I turn the gain down, it looks like I'm not getting high readings on the volume meter. It sounds pretty low. Is this low? How's this sound right now, Surly? Let me know. Let me know how this sound is. I can probably play it. To me, it sounds great. All right, cool. Jetson. Welcome. So let's run the app. I'll show you where we are. I worked on it over the weekend. I have I wish you were there with me, but you know, sometimes I don't have enough time to do what I'd call like a whole stream. So I'm not streaming over the weekends yet. Sometimes I just get like a half hour or something. I'm not sure how much time I'll have. So here we go. Let's go in here. We'll start decorating a room. Grab some flooring there, and let's get some furniture. No, wait, let's go to chains. Chains have got these kind of cool things here for sticking on the side of the wall, like something like this right here. I can just kind of come down and drop a number of them down here like this. Saw some pics, oh yeah, on Dragon Humper's Twitter feed. Very nice. Yeah, Jetsam, it's getting kind of cool. So here we go. We've just dropped these 3 here. If I select 2 of these, there's been some interface changes. Not a lot of significant code was written to make this work. You've already seen most of it here, right? But I can now align these center. I can align them left or right as well. These buttons show up if there's enough room, and if not, they hide automatically. So as I start zooming out, you see a lot of the buttons go away. And as I zoom in, I have access to the buttons. So I can center these, for example. I might, let's say, for example, move this over here and select both of these and say, let's align them left. And it'll pop over that way. Or I can grab this over here, select this one, and say, move them right. What's cool, there's a couple things going on here that's very cool with this user interface. This user interface has got the buttons that I need to affect the items close to them. This is what I would argue this is pretty good design. Also, with regards to placement, align right is on the right side and align left is on the left side, and center is right down the middle, like that. Similarly, align top is here, align bottom is here, and align vertical centers is here, right next to the flip horizontal. So I've got these kinds of things here. So the placement of the buttons is good. The other thing that's pretty cool about this is I also added distribute. And this is where things get a little bit like you're like, wait, I've never seen this before. This looks, Mark, like you might be breaking some rules. Notice this button is much bigger than the others. Same thing down here as well. I did this on purpose. I contend it's good design because this button looks a lot like this button right here, the vertical center one. It looks similar to it. It's not distinct, but it distributes horizontally and this one distributes vertically. So the placement there I felt was not enough because I felt like it was too close and I didn't want people to be confused. I didn't want me to be confused. So I made the button bigger to indicate that we were moving across a larger span. So now I can come in here, hit this button here, and now it'll make sure there's an even spacing between all of these just to show you what's going on. So one more time, click this, and now say even distribute. Let's align these to the right, and there, and now I've got those right on the side there. So, so not bad, but I have no way to save this. None at all. No way to save. And so we want to figure out how to save our maps. And there's 2 things that are kind of involved. And I think one of them is going to take a while. It's going to be slow. And I want to apologize in advance because I like to normally write code pretty quickly as I can. But we're going to have to do some UI. 44 out of 72 hours. Nice. My fasting, I've been fasting for a few minutes. I had some breakfast this morning. Had some keto waffles, which are one of my favorite things to make because I can make a bunch of them, and there's a few carbs. I throw a few extra carbs in. They're not like pure keto, but I throw in about a third of a cup of pumpkin puree, whatever that is, the pumpkin that you can buy in a can. And what it does is it keeps the waffles moist, even though they're refrigerated for a long period of time. So I take those waffles out, stick them in the microwave, throw in slabs of butter on top of each one, take them out, and they taste amazing. Taste totally non-keto. So that is one of the things I do. All right, so we need to figure out what we want to save. So the first thing I think I want to do is I want to just review what our data is that we're maintaining, and the thing is this thing called a map right here. I think that's the thing we want to save, and that's the thing we want to load. I think the map selection, the wall builder, those kinds of things are not really needed. So let's kind of drill into map and see what's there. So we've got this two-dimensional array of all the tiles. I would argue that's a streamable thing. We've got a list of all the corridors. I would also argue that's streamable. Although corridors can be rebuilt pretty quickly with a scan. I don't know. However, low level, when I open this in TypeScript, is whatever we save, eventually I'm going to open it in TypeScript as well, I think. And yeah, I don't think I'm going to save it yet. I'm going to only save the parts I need here and later add them if I want to. That's going to be my strategy. Let's turn on some music, by the way. Do we have some music coming on? We do. Let's bring Fred back here, too, as well. Fred, how you doing, buddy? You okay? Did we lose Fred? The mothership sound was really too loud. Hold on. I got gain on that as well. Let me turn the gain down on that. I think I have to do something else to fix these because I'm doing line in and I think that they're not. How's this? I'm turning down the gain. I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the desktop sounds. How's the music sound? Let me know. Yeah, thanks, Shirley. Let me know about any kind of what's going on here. What we need to do. So num columns and rows. Yeah, you bet. We'll do that. List of rooms. The thing is, when we look at the rooms, the room is a map region, and it's got a list of tiles again, right? All the spaces in it. And I don't think I want to save that. Here's the thing. The map region's got a bunch of tile references to it. Okay, that's a room. The corridor has the same thing. It descends from map region again. So we're again here. I don't want to save this. Okay, I mean, I kind of want to save it, but I don't want to save it because we kind of get in this kind of looping thing, I think. And the tile has got a reference to the map interface. Right? I don't want to save these connections. I want to rebuild them. Because if I'm loading a map, I know that every tile I load is in that map. So, hold on a second. I am adjusting my my Stream Deck. Let's bring this up here. There we go. So you can see what I'm doing. So, I think the first thing I want to do, since I'm going through and reviewing this data, I want to mark these as not streamable. So to do that, I think it's like a JSON ignore, but I don't recall what it is. So JSON, serialization, C#. So I kind of want that to start my search with. And I'm looking for Newtonsoft, like that. I'm looking for this. I want my Stack Overflow because I find I can get my answers quickest from that. I like to see things like this, and that means that usually this is a good thing. Use the JavaScript serializer class. We got a Newtonsoft in here. That's what I want. I'm going to do Newtonsoft because we've worked with that before. We like that. So let's do that. So I think I can do that by coming in here and manage NuGet packages, browse, Newtonsoft. Latest stable. Let's install it. Successfully installed. Good. Now I want to go back to where we were in map. Map is, I think, down low. That's down in map core, right? Map is there. We need to install it here too as well. Manage NuGet packages. Let's do it right there. Successfully installed to map core. Excellent. Then we need using that. And like that. And then I want to look how to ignore Newton soft ignore. Is that enough? JSON ignore attribute. That's what I want. That's what I want. All right. So now I want to go in and I want to start looking at those pieces of it and figuring out what I want to serialize and what I do not want to serialize. And what things I will need to restore on a kind of a reconstitute. So I think what I want to do is create like a note to myself here, reconstitute. And this is my list of things I'm going to reconstitute when I build this thing back up. And what I'm going to store as well.
Hugo is in the house.
Let's go over to room. I want to throw this one out here. Map region. I want to say we're going to ignore that guy right there, but we're going to serialize instead something different. And yeah, so what I need to do, so I have this tile object that's all over the place in multiple references. This is where the Flyweight pattern can help us out. It's me dropping meteors right there. Here comes a song change. Nice. So I need to solve this. Interesting. Yeah, there's going to be some complexity before we can actually get this whole thing to work. So my idea for solving this is this. Give it a unique GUID to identify itself. Store the list of all the tiles used with their GUIDs in another class. So every time I create a new tile, that tile will have a unique GUID. Then serialize the GUIDs that are part of a particular region instead of the tile references themselves. And then have a way to rebuild those back in. That's kind of the idea. And I'm having an idea on how I can actually, yeah. So I guess my idea is something like this. I want to do a list of GUIDs. So to get this, by the way, A for auto-implemented property, L for generic list, and the dot, and then G for GUID. So AL.G is going to give me that list of GUIDs right there. And then I guess I'm going to call that space GUIDs, like that. And we're going to serialize that instead. And but I want to actually convert it to property with backing store, and I want to, if it's null, then I want to say space GUIDs is equal to get space GUIDs, like that. Want to become famous? Uh-oh. Okay, let's get rid of this guy, mods. I don't want to become famous. Don't tell anyone about this show. What's going on now? I am hitting declare method and nothing is happening. Oh, we've got a bug. Not sure how we're there, but let's report this bug here. Kids, check it out. I'm in this code. I bet you it's not reproducible, but hopefully my logs are going to show you something. I am here. I'm hitting Control Dot. I'm choosing declare method, and now there's no target picker, but it's active. Watch, if I hit up or down arrow, look what happens. I get a little bit of a refresh right over here. And now when I hit enter, it pops it in wherever I was, right up there. That's the bug. Let me undo this a second. Let me, just to get you, I want to make sure you have all the code. I'm going to save everything where we are, so it's not compiling. I'm going to go check this in, and I'm going to mark it for you, kids. And so we're going to say bug, no target picker. Hopefully you'll be able to reproduce this on declare method. We're going to stage everything. And I had just used NuGet to add, if you watch the beginning of the show, we've only been going for about 20 minutes. I just used NuGet to add packages to 2 projects. So I'm not sure if that's related to it or not. Let me push those changes. Shoot, I wanted to grab that and copy that to the clipboard. Let's add a new tag. Let's say call it bug. No target picker. Oh, no spaces here. No target picker on method declare. Get you kids a tag so you can download all this source, push it right now. Go. And let's wrap up the bug. And you'd think I would have no target picker on method declare. Really hope you guys can figure out what's going on with that and send that to you. There's the logs. The log file's coming over. Cool. Let's switch back over to players. I want to see if I can reconnect. Looks like we lost signal R on our players. And not entirely. Just on the front overlay, maybe. Because, oh, there we go. No, there's Fred. Fred's good. All right, cool. All right. Okay. Wait, one thing I want to do is I want to get, there's GitHub, Mr. Announcer Bot. How's the stream, kids? I want to get this copy link address. I just want to get this ready so I can add it to that email chain on it. All right, excuse me. Let's hide the scroll. Boom. Yeah, so we are dog fooding Code Rush, kids. That's what we're doing. All right. So let's come back over here. Get space GUIDs. Let's try one more thing, actually. Let's try closing the file, bringing it back up, see if it's reproducible. See if our devs are going to be able to reproduce it. That was generate method. That was not Code Rush, though. Declare method. There's Code Rush, and there's a target picker. They are not going to be able to reproduce it, it looks like. So look to the log files. Look to the log files. Okay, so now get space GUIDs. Now what we want to do is we want to do a... I think there's a way to do this with link, but I'm not sure what it is. Let me show you what I want to write first. For each tile in spaces, do... actually, I want to create a new instance here. Add a comma after to get a shorter version of the template. And then I want to say spacegoods.add tile.guid, like this. Where's the property I'm going to need to add to the tile? Okay, like that. I feel like I'm not thinking this through carefully. I feel like there's something I'm missing. That's what I want to do for this, and then I want to say return space goods, like that. So that's what I want to do. And then I want some way to invalidate those space goods, I suppose. I'm not sure if I need a method for this yet, but it's looking something like this. Invalidate space goods, like this. Set equal to null, like that. Hold on, wait, my get space goods. I want to make this a local, actually. Stream is good, but could do with more Rory. Well, your wish is my command, sir. All right, so there's the local there, not to be confused with the field of the exact same name. And invalidate space goods is here. I want this to be public, I think, or maybe not. Let's make it private, actually. I'm just using Alt up and down arrow to just cycle through visibility here with CodeRush. That works when you're not running. At runtime, I think if you're debugging it, that won't work. Hold on, there's something else I want to do. Spaces. I don't want to directly call add on it anywhere. I want to instead call add space, like this. And then in here, I want to come in and say spaces.add the tile, whatever it is. Let's maybe call this add tile. Maybe not call this spaces anymore, call this tiles. Call this tile goods. Whoops. Tile goods. Okay, now I'm going to call invalidate space goods and add tile, like that. Now let's go look through and see everywhere we're calling tiles.add. Really only there? Okay. Sweet. Okay, so we took care of that. That one is not used a whole lot. So now we've got a list of tiles. We're going to ignore those, but we are not going to ignore our goods. Right here, we're going to save those. And if it's null, we're going to go get them. And that's going to create that list for serialization. Now we need a reconstitution that happens as well. I think I'm going to call a function in here called, I'm going to create a function called Reconstitute. Is it arguably still the Flyweight pattern if we're simply using it for storage and not for at runtime? In other words, at runtime, we're going to go ahead and reuse the references to the objects. But I'm going to call it Reconstitute Flyweight. I'm going to do this in several different places, I think. Have this same kind of function call in here. So we need a to-do here to call this after serializing this from disk, like that. And then, so here, Rory? Oh, pudding. By the way, kids, if you didn't see the last show, pudding saved our butts. Saved us like crazy. This was me. I'm overthinking the problem. This was pudding. It's simple. This is me. Yeah, I don't think it's that simple. It just doesn't seem logical. It could be that simple. This is pudding. No, I'm pretty sure I'm right. That was my clue. I should have listened. If somebody says I'm pretty sure I'm right, I should listen. And I'm like, pudding. Seriously. This is a grown-up show for grown-ups, pudding. Please, just sit at the kids' table. And pudding is like, please just try it. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'll try it. And I try it, and I'm like, oh, he was so right. He was so right. And then he's like, math. And then he's like, matrix multiplication. And I'm like, I should have paid attention in the matrix multiplication portion of my classes like 20, 30, 40 years ago. Pudding saved us. Saved us, saved us, saved us. Yeah, go pudding. It was awesome. It was an awesome show. And I will never forget it. I owe you a life debt, just to like Jar Jar Binks pudding. Thank you. No, it was awesome. Awesome contribution. Yeah. Pudding was like, please, please, please try my code. Yeah. Hugo said, it's so rare that you overthink things though, Mark. Is that sarcasm, Hugo? Because I got, autism, my friend. I can't tell. I can't tell if you're sarcastic or not. All right. So when we save the map, we're going to have a portion of the map that's going to have all the tiles that are in it and just save those once. And everywhere we've got to reference all these multiple references to tiles, we're just going to throw a GUID out and save that instead. We can also do an index if we were concerned about the size of the file, which I'm really not, but we could do an index as well. We would just have to make sure that we would never, ever delete a tile from that list. Uh-oh. Hugo says, moi? Nope, I am never sarcastic, except for those times where I am. Okay. Yeah, that was a good show. Pudding saved us. Yeah, and as usual, I'm probably going to get us into trouble today as well, and you guys are going to save us. And already I'm looking at this thing and, oh, is this the right design? Am I really going the right way on this? And I'm just going to go with it because I don't have any other alternatives on this. So yeah, that's my idea. Everywhere there's a tile, I'm going to save it as a GUID. When we bring it back in, we're going to reconstitute it. That means, you know what? I'm not worried I'm going to forget this call. So let's do this. Let's copy that to the clipboard. You don't like Flyweight's plural, huh? I'm going to add you to the dictionary. And let's go to the owners of these classes. This is the map region. The map region is... Oh, wow. Are we going to have multiple regions? We're not going to have multiple pieces. The parent is going to have to also have a GUID. I think we need a property here, AG, for auto-implement property. I think we're going to have a property here called GUID as well. And we're going to need to serialize that. I think each map region is going to have a GUID as well. That means over here, geez, the tile is going to need a function called Reconstitute. And it's going to be set props from GUID. Because we got two of them. We're going to need also, so that means this one we're going to do a
Genisco 7, where are you? We need your help.
We need your help, Genisco 7. Help us write this code and get rid of that guy. He's a troublemaker. Just stun him though. Just stun him. Good. I don't like violence on this show. No, Yoda, no. Why would you do that, Yoda? That's an extreme use of power, Yoda. Jason, ignore. Okay, so we're not going to do that, but we're going to have a parent GUID, and I want to convert to with backing store, and I will want to say sorry, hold on.
I like trash.
Oh, look, it's Oscar. I said I don't like violence on this show. Groversaurus, why? Oscar's like my favorite. He likes trash. All right, hold on. Parent good. Let's figure this out. Parent good. We're going to return here. Hold on. We're going to return the parent dot good. If not null, then we're going to do that. Otherwise, we're going to turn, is there like a good dot empty or something like that? Sweet. Okay. So there's our getter. When we set this, are we going to reconstitute it or not is the question. I think we're not going to reconstitute it for now. Okay, so here we need to go. I think we're going to go with our map. So we're going to say the map is the IMAP interface in it. We're going to say map.reconstitute like this, and I think it's going to be a generic method, map region, and we're going to pass in the parent good, and then we're going to say map region is equal to that. I feel like that's what it looks like. No, sorry, not map region, parent. Parent. So that's reconstitution number step 1. What else we got? We got doors as well. These doors, can we save these? I'm just looking, do they have any references out to other objects? They don't. I'm going to save them. We're okay saving those. We don't need anything special there. This we just have to worry about because we don't want to have, you know, looping kind of things where we try to save this and keep going. Okay. So there's one of them. I guess, is that the only one? Has doors, is floor. There's my constructors. Analyze code. Some set door, public methods. Anything else we got? Nope, that's it. Okay, so cool. So that's all we have to do here. There's no other property of tile, just its parent we need to call reconstitute on. So let's declare that. And that's going to return a type T, like that. Let's go find our implementer of this. There it is right there. I'll throw this up at the top like that and make it public. And let's see. Okay, so the maps is going to need essentially a hash table of GUIDs to objects is what it's going to need. So let's build that. So we need a new dictionary indexed by GUIDs of objects. So that's what that looks like there, the CodeRush template. N for new, D for dictionary, and the period as well because it's a generic. And then we have the 2 types in it, G for GUID, comma, O for object. And we just did the space bar. And so now we're going to say these are our dehydrated, or flyweights. We could call it flyweights since we're doing the flyweight design pattern. So we'll call it flyweights, like that. And this is going to be public. So this we will serialize. And so when somebody says reconstitute, I'm going to come in here and say, hey, if flyweights dot contains key, throwing in the parent GUID, we're going to actually rename this to just GUID, like that. Then we're going to return flyweights of GUID as T. Otherwise, we're going to return null. Is that going to work? No. What's my problem here? Doesn't have a type class constraint. Nor a class constraint. Okay, we're going to give it a class constraint. Where T is a class. How do we give it a class constraint? That's not it. Is that it? Really? Or no? Okay, we just have to match it in the interface. That's interesting syntax. I was surprised they went with that. Right in here. Okay. Well, I will hand it to him. It is intuitive. Sweet. Look at that. So now we've got a reconstitute where we can pass our map any GUID at all, and it'll give us back the object in that type. Sweet. Whoops. Hold on, though. I think I got a bug. Come on, guys. Let me build this. Make sure I got buildable code here. Okay, we need to add that. Let's declare that. Auto implemented. I think we're going to need, let's see. I think yeah, I'm going to do that. That's what I'm going to do. GUID.empty. Okay. Let's go back to map a second. Now I need another function here to add a flyweight element. Add flyweight here. And this is going to be of type object here. Some instance. And we need a key for it as well. So VG for a variable type GUID. Call that key. Then I think what I want is something like this. If key equals GUID.empty, I think I've got a template. Can I do G.E? Look at that. So this is cool. There's a lot of whatever the type is, .e. If it's got an empty in, it'll use it there. So like for example, I can do, what else has empty in it? String. So I can type in s.e as well. That sort of thing. So that's just automatic from CodeRush. If there's a type abbreviation, it's got an empty, you can just do the type abbreviation followed by a .e to get to that. So if key is equal to GUID.empty, I'm going to throw a new exception. Cannot add flyweight with an empty key. Can I do? I wonder what will happen if I just do this in here. Instance to string. What's it going to do? It's going to toString it if it's null. Will it be okay? Will my exception throw an exception? I'm not sure. And then otherwise, we're going to come in here. We're going to say, we're going to check to see if it's in there. And if flyweights does not contain the key, then we're going to say flyweights.add. And the key and the instance, like that. Otherwise, we're going to say flyweights of the key is equal to the instance. or should we throw an exception here? I don't know. Should we throw an exception here too? Do I want it to be kind of tolerant here? Exception. Can I spell? There's my C. Here. Right, if I add it more than once, I generally like to make code that's tolerant of the of the client, of the programmer who's writing against the API. Allow them to make mistakes or kind of, don't keep things so restrict, keep the program still running. But I'm not sure about this yet, so I'm just leaving the question there. Maybe I'll change this to a to-do. Thanks for that, folks. All right, so /t gives me that to do. Okay, and I think that's all I need to do. That's my add flyweight call. So that can help us when it's time to serialize. So now we need like a prepare for serialization. Prepare for serialization, like this. And that's going to be, we want to call add flyweights for all our instance objects. Call for each instance we want to GUIDify. Now, hold on though. Key instance, add flyweight. I got an idea, and I think you guys are going to like this. Let's go to Tile. I'm going to create a new interface called iFlyweight, and I'm going to give it this right here as its element in here. So let's try this. I want to see what an extract interface on Tile gives me. Does it give me elements of IMAP interface, which are floor space exists? We should not see floor space exists in here. Good, we do not. All right, good, that was smart. All right, I want to actually just take GUID out of this whole list. That's all I want. And we're going to rename iTile to iFlyweight. And now, if it's got iFlyweight interface, that means it's implementing the property for GUID. That means it also implements it to Reconstitute, I think. Yeah. I think. Yes, it does. Because it's got to go get the actual object properties. In other words, we'll create... Is that true or not? I'm not entirely sure about Reconstitute. Hold on, let's go look at what we were doing in Tile with Reconstitute. Do we have it here? We were saying parent is equal to map Reconstitute. So get flyweight. We'll rename this to get flyweight. Rory should be joining us in about 10 minutes, kids. What happened to the coins? I think somebody did a test of one of the different games out there, I think. Is that what you're talking about? AJ 2017 just likes to hang out right out there around line 77 right now. Does the Rory summoning ritual. Rory! Rory, without you, we are...
Sad Panda!
Come on, Rory. Where are you, buddy? Are we good, Fred? Are we good without Rory? We're not good without Rory. Hold on, got some text coming in. I'm like, got all kinds of people swearing in the back. Hold on, what's going on here? Wow. So building a new house, and one of the things we're trying to do is get internet in, is what we're trying to do. And while I have fiber optic here, in the new location, there's no fiber optic anywhere. and no one wants to get it there for less than like $5,000 to $10,000. And but we can't do the show without fiber optic tremendously high upload speeds. After doing all this crazy work, we finally found a way to do it, and it involves laying down. I'm actually laying down about 150 meters of cable, ranging from a business that's right next to our new place to our place, and essentially upgrading that business's internet, paying them, engaging in a contract with them where I've got monthly payments. Monthly payments, by the way, are fairly outrageous. They're it's about $360 to get me 40 megabits per second upload speed. So it's probably the most I'll ever pay for internet in my life, and we'll be doing that until they get. Holy cow! Copperbeardy's rating with a party at 27. Wow, that's crazy! That's crazy! Look out, man! It's a crazy raid. Hey kids, welcome. Welcome to the stream. Fred's here with us. Fred, you good? Fred's good. We are just in the middle of telling my story about my internet here. I'm in Costa Rica and working to get fiber optic, and I'm going to be paying through the nose for it for several months until somebody else lays down a decent line. Decent line here. Moist Booty Boy says, Copperbeard loaded in your stream literally as the raid went off. I just had to have a conversation with myself to make sure I didn't think I clicked on something differently. Like the color of your handle, looks great on my black background, Moist Booty Boy. Copperbeard is asking, how are things going? They're going pretty well. Copperbeardy, although I just noticed, did you come in secretly? It doesn't look like you did. It looks like we may have lost. Let's give Copperbeardy his fanfare. Copperbeardy
is in the house.
You kids may or may not know this. Copperbeardy's a fan of the sunflowers and growing the sunflowers. Copperbeardy's a great fan here of the Code Rush stream. Copperbeardy, welcome and thanks for the raid. Super appreciate it. Kids, if you're new, here's what we do on this show. We work in C#, we work in TypeScript. We mainly do fun stuff. We're in a design patterns week 2 right now. So we're looking at the Flyweight design pattern today. But mainly we're just kind of coding for fun, whatever strikes our fancy. As a result, we typically do fun things like some of the things you're seeing around the screen here right now, like the floating coins, spinning coins. This right here is our emitter particle system right there. Sometimes fans or folks in the chat room will pop this up if I seem to be thinking really hard. We're doing, we mostly troll, is what Pudding says. We do the fun stuff, is what we do. Bot dropped get messages, says Geniscu7. I'm not sure what's happening there. Said, hey all. So just before that card, didn't say anything just before it said that. Okay. And we're building effects, special effects for a show.
Little cutie.
Called Dragon Humpers. Don't tell them about the drone game. Says
Merkin Bushwhacker.
So here you can see this for Dungeons and Dragons show, and so we've got like their stats showing up here on different views, including like the spells right here. Little Cutie. Little Cutie was played by my wife Karen, who shows up over here. She is a comedian and a voice actress. She's got her voice is awesome for this, but she can cast spells like Wrathful Smite, like that. Spell effect is there. Particle system. Notice it's actually going around my hand. Notice it's going around my hand right there. Particle system goes around her like that. She says, I want to use my great sword. Picks up her great sword like that. She rolls the attack. Special effects all over the place. That's a miss. And that's what's going on. So we built all of that on the show. That's what we're doing. It's for this other show out there. I'll put it in the stream in case you're interested in Dungeons & Dragons. Has not gone live yet, but will soon. We are practicing, and our practices are getting better and better. It's out here. It's Comedy Dungeons & Dragons. It's going to be a mature show. This one's family friendly, but that one out there is going to be mature. And it's going to be funny. So I'm saying it should be a little more left on screen. What it needs to be, you're saying you're not a little cutie, is in the wrong place. You think little cutie should be here? No, this is my character. My character is Merkin Bushwhacker. Little cutie is over there. So, so anyway, that's it. But yeah, we got some cool effects here. I'll show you one more while we're here if you haven't seen this yet. Switch over to me. Let's bring up like Ray of Frost. There you go right there. Again, so there you can see it's spinning around me, kids. Particle effects going around me. Super cool. Chaos Bolt, level 3, right like that, coming over my shoulders. Same thing, particle effects. Roll the attack, go out there. There it is. That's what we've done. Exclusively Lex is now following. Thanks for that follow, Exclusively Lex. There, I'm casting the spell. Oh, speaking of casting spells, let me come up and throw Tidal Wave at you. It's a little crazy too, over the top. Oh, it's rolling wild magic. If it rolls a 1, things go crazy. Let me throw a Tidal Wave at you. Here's another over-the-top spell. So getting ready for it right here. You can see the Tidal Wave spell up there. Roll the damage. Here it comes. Whoa! And it's bludgeoning damage, so we have bludgeoning dice coming out. That's what's going on there. So that's what we're doing. Our focus is on implementing stuff. Frackberg is here. Did Frackberg dodge the iceberg? I think we lost our... let's close that stuff down. Frackberg. Let's show you Frackberg. Here we go. Oh no! Oh no, Frackberg is here! Oh, Frackberg. Will he ever miss that iceberg? He goes by it every time. You'd think he'd see it. Certainly does things my heart will go on. Isn't that nice? No escape today. Yeah. So, welcome. We had Pudding and all fanfarts before Copperbirdie came. Yeah, I feel like, and we saw Hugo's, didn't we? I think we saw Hugo's. Did we see your fanfare, Hugo, or no? Because I almost want to feel like, I don't know if I want to associate it with like, but I'm wondering if there's data in one of the fanfare folks out there that's breaking us around Hugo or Pudding. I'm just throwing that out there now. Don't tell them about the drone game. I'm not going to do that. All right, kids, you saw and heard it. Yeah, I think so. So Hugo played, and then we lost fanfares after that. So if anybody jumps in, let me know. We'll take a look. We'll take a look for that out there. Plank was big enough for both of them. Says Pudding. Yeah, it was big enough. It wasn't a plank. It was a door, I think. And yeah, it was totally big enough. It was like I did not trigger Pudding manually. Pudding came in out of nowhere. Pudding was before Hugo, I think. Wasn't that true or no? Did you see Pudding, Hugo? Maybe you did. So Pudding was the last one. I'll maybe try and get some data in there. All right. So we work in C#. We work in TypeScript. And right now today we're in C#. And commands broke when raid came. Is that true? Okay. Yeah, maybe it's Pudding's fault. Everything is Pudding's fault, kids. Including last time saving the show was totally his fault. Pudding saved the show last time. So we're doing Flyweight design pattern. Flyweight design pattern basically says, look, if you've got the same object using it all over the place, and especially right now we're serializing things. I've got like circular references all over the place, that sort of thing. I want to optimize that and only serialize one set of objects, and that also breaks my circular reference possibilities because I could have a child element that is a reference to the parent, which also has a reference to the child, right? So I don't want, while that's totally fine at runtime, when I'm serializing, I don't want to deal with that. And yet when I deserialize, I want to have all the references intact. So all my references I'm going to handle through implementing the Flyweight design pattern. That's the essence of what we're working on. Today. Do I have the ability to control the music now? Looks like I do not. So yeah. So the let me try one more. I want to try and go after this thing real quickly in here. I want to come in, refresh the cache of the drone game page, and see if simply refreshing that is going to reconnect my signal R and get this to be able to work. And it looks like the answer is no. I've got to do a restart on my overlays. So let's do that. I'm going to go grab my overlays, and we're going to close those down, and we're going to restart the overlays. Here it comes. Here comes the close, and closing down this piece, coming into my PowerShell, killing every instance of Chrome, which is needed for a restart like this. Here comes the restart. We doing this Rory summoning ritual now? Surely, Dev, we better be. Where are you, Rory? Are you late, my friend? Rory. Rory's coming in, kids, from the UK. Should be. You coming? See what he's going to come in or not. Loading up. Let's come back to the drone game here. Do one more refresh on the overlay here. Coins will go away any second now, says Rory. See how this works. I've got the advanced sound setup here. Here comes Rory.
Hello.
Hey, Rory, how you doing? Folks in the chat room, let us know how Rory is. Sound. Codebase Alpha is here. Codebase Alpha, glad to see you with us today. Copperbeard, just gave us a raid, so we've got, say hello to all our new folks out there.
Hello, everybody.
Can you say that again, Rory?
I said hello, everybody.
Okay, that sounded good. I thought Rory got a fanfare for a moment. All right, so there. You can see me now, Rory. Is that right?
I can, yes.
Did you hear the sound effects for...
I do not think I do.
Did you so when...
no Codebase Alpha.
No Codebase Alpha, you didn't hear any sound?
No.
That's not good. This is you. Hold on, let me check the volume on that. Let's jump back into... let me get started again. Got it?
Hear that? Yeah.
Okay, cool. Codebase Alpha is with us again.
I would lay good money that if we were to somehow devise a system of cameras that were watching all of the people in the chat room who were listening to that, every one of them would have their little head bobbing along. You know, you can't not, right?
It's not a bad one. It's pretty good. All right. So with that now, though, I need to refresh that. My my overlays, Fred, everything needs some refresh. I'm going to, at the very least, I'm going to overlay I'm going to refresh the front overlay. That includes animations for Fred. And so now let's, I don't think that's going to work unless I do a reinitialize data. We're not going to do any of the dice rolling or anything like that. And, oh, because I got to shut down and restart that too. Blah, blah, blah. All right, we'll go without Fred. Fred's not going to have any animation for a while. Fred's just going to watch us. All right, so we're doing the Flyweight design pattern today. We're adding it to our D&D map spike that we're creating. Basically the goal is, Rory, I want to serialize and save the map. And I want to save it, but the map is a complex structure. It has a list of tiles, right? The tiles tell me what's in a particular space, a 5 foot by 5 foot space. I reckon Fred the Lizard Man did the fanfares. Yeah, that's kind of fun. Isn't that fun? Yeah, that's Fred over there. Fred's going to be quiet for a while.
Fred can neither confirm nor deny this accusation.
Yeah, he can neither confirm nor deny. Right now he's just quiet. He's cool. He's cool. He brings the cool to the show, by the way.
Does.
All right. So we have the map. The map can have a bunch of tiles, like an array of tiles. Okay, and those tiles tell me what's in a space. It tells me like what the flooring is, what the texture is in the floor, and the map also contains a list of rooms and a list of corridors, and the rooms and the corridors have a list of tiles as well. And the tile has a reference to its parent corridor or parent room.
Okay.
So we've got this object graph all over the place. And when we started, I guess you could argue too, you could say, well, Mark, why didn't you start thinking about serialization at the beginning? And I'm like, I don't know. I didn't think about it. I knew I had to do it, but I didn't think about it. We could have taken a different approach where we start from the beginning doing serialization. And then once we start creating the graph, we realize, oh, we've got a problem. We have to fix it. But we didn't. We started it now. We know we need to fix it. I'm using the Flyweight design pattern to fix it.
So what is the Flyweight design pattern then?
The Flyweight design pattern is when I have multiple instances of an object, essentially. And instead of doing multiple instances of it, I consolidate to have one instance that's shared. Okay. That's kind of what's happening. Now, this is built in already into what I'm doing at runtime with the code. Okay. But the problem is when I save something out, that doesn't work. Okay. When I serialize, the references don't work. It doesn't know that, oh, I've already got this reference out there and I've already saved it. So now what I have to do is I have to now take those references out, kind of pull them out and replace them with a GUID is what I'm going to do. So the GUID is going to be the key to get to it. The map is going to contain all of those tiles, and that's I think how it's going to work. So that's kind of where I am. That's kind of the code that I've started writing.
So I know we have a necessity to write serialization such that it is basically turns into a data format which we can send over the wire to the other application, to the web app effectively, and have it display everything that's necessary for the game to function. Do you also wish to have it capable of reloading that same information into this application or not?
I think the answer is no. If I understand your question, how it connects with what I plan to do. So what I plan to do is, so right now we're in the map editor. The map editor wants to save itself. I'm going to save it. I'm using JSON just because I'm like, hey, why not?
So it's kind of more of an export than it is a save, because there's no implication of import or load.
No, there will be.
Here.
There will be here. The data that I need for the map editor is different from the data I need for the show. The map editor has multiple layers and levels that will be compressed and collapsed down, visual levels that will be compressed down to a bottom layer, a single bottom layer. And when for the stream, I'm going to need just that bottom layer and where we are, the zoom level and the position to show you where we are on the map.
Okay.
But on the stream, there's going to be other layers that are in common. Like I'm going to have an item layer for items that can be moved, hidden, or collected. So like, for example, there might be a spell scroll, and you'll actually drop a spell scroll image on to a desk, and you'll say, this is a collectible item, and you'll fill in the details in the map editor. In the game, the item will be there, and when the item is collected, it'll disappear. So collectible items will be on their own level. Okay, and then above that, there's going to be a roof or ceiling level where things above the players will be drawn. So, for example, I might have a tent with an upper layer, and if a player walks into the tent, because it knows it's on the upper layer, and because it knows it is like a ceiling, it's got a ceiling attribute.
Yep.
When the player goes in, it'll disappear. Now you'll see the bottom of the tent with the cutaway and the player standing in, and as if you're looking in through the top of the tent. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. Or
so there's less layers needed for the show than for the editing up front.
Yes.
And you could be able to compress some of those. So maybe like we've got an actual grid, and then we've got the color tile for the floor, and then you've got a tile effect you stick over the top. All of that can be compressed to just one piece of graphic in theory, because for the purposes of the show, you're just going to show that or not.
Right.
Then the items, which are optional on top of that, are both a layer on the editing side and on the playing side. And as you say, ceilings and stuff like that, which have a nice effect for like walking into a tent, very good, can also be sort of optional on both sides effectively.
Yes. And there's going to be more data as well, right? For example, I might know that I've got a list of rooms in my map. My room might have an attribute, like when the players walk into this room for the first time, start playing this music or this sound effect, that sort of thing. So the Dungeon Master can really make a visual experience. By the way, my wife is taking courses on design. She's getting a master's in design. And one of the course descriptions is, hey, for this course, you're going to be creating a multimedia project. And I'm like, what do they think multimedia is? Is it just video and audio? Because I think that's what almost everybody thinks. And she said, I'm asking them the question now. So she sent them an email. I have no idea what that is, but what's cool about this map editor is you will really truly be creating multimedia here, right? You will be setting things up so that when we can set the mood for a room. By the way, something else I want to do, I realize we can do, and oh my gosh, is this going to be fun? We can create weather effects for outdoor maps. So if it's raining, we can actually have clouds come in over the top like this and have rain coming down, that sort of thing. Or we can
have fog that doesn't penetrate the tent.
Yes, and when it gets late at night, if we're outdoors, we can start dimming down and darkening the maps, right? And giving them a blue tint to them. So all of that we can do, pretty cool, and do that dynamically to make this place feel more alive. So yeah.
So if your wife's doing this master's in design, does that mean the science of great UI is going to become a double act?
I'm not sure. Oh yeah, I guess maybe a little bit. She's doing, she is. So it's funny, right? We'll see something and I'll be like, they did that wrong. The instructions of the course, I'll be like, this is a mistake or this is a mistake or whatever like this. But in general, everybody's got good intentions, but I'm like,
that's true.
I've trained my mind to, spot these problems. Speaking of training your mind, I'm speaking at Dev Intersection coming up. I don't know the dates. It's April 6th, I think, in Florida, Orlando. If you kids are out there and you want to come see the science of great UI, I'm an expert on this topic, probably I'd say the foremost expert in the .NET Microsoft community and maybe probably beyond. I've been studying this for years. I've got a course on this. I'm doing a workshop and 3 courses out there on the science of great design, the science of great UI. And hey, you want to see a demo of good UI? Let's see if we got a compile here. I don't know if we have a compile. If we do, I'll show you some changes that we made since you last left us, Rory.
Just double check. Dev Intersection in Florida, Orlando, 6th through 9th of April.
Can you throw a link in the chat room so people can get to that? Looks like build succeeded. Let me try a run on this. Should be okay. We just started adding some things here. And yeah, I don't think I mentioned that
there's been a huge mistake on this site. Apparently you're not a headline speaker.
No, that's all right. You know why? Because they use this old goofy picture of me and I've never, fixed it. All right. I showed folks at the very beginning this, but this is our map editor here. This allows us to create gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous maps and real easily. So I can come in here and say, well, let's grab some wood texture, for example, down here, or there's different kinds of wood texture that you can create, or let's grab some lava for the floor, whatever I want to do here, like this kind of a look. So it's pretty fast and easy to come in and create different kinds of looks. Once we have that, let's get some dirt floor here, because that's kind of something we might expect in our dungeon. Let's go in here. Let's go to the stamps and let's create some chains, some chain hookup points. Let's grab, put 3 down this row right here. So I'm just going to come down here and click them like this. Click 1, 2, 3. Now notice they're not aligned. If I can come in and shift click them, and talking about good UI, notice what's happening here. Right, I'm getting UI elements really close by, and they're not all here. If I zoom in, right, I'll start to see.
You've got some kind of priority, haven't you? Which says that if I can't display all of them, well, these are the ones to miss out first.
Yeah, and so they're just appearing or disappearing as I zoom in and out. If I keep going, you'll see some of these will disappear, that sort of thing. So there, I've got my UI. Now, what I can do is I can come in here and say, well, let's say we want to line all these to the right. all I have to do is hit this button here. Notice it's on the right, align left over here. The buttons are close to where I'm working, so I don't have to move the mouse up over here. And also, if I were to put these like on a toolbar, this align top and align middle and align bottom wouldn't be where they are now, but they're exactly where they need to be. If I want to align top, I just come up here and I do the align top, that sort of thing. Unfortunately, I don't have undo in here yet. We're going to implement that as well using the command design pattern. That's probably going to be next week. I'm not sure. What do you want to say, Roy?
No, that's good. I like that one.
Hughes won't be in Orlando and can't get there on those dates, so now I have to learn from you. Yeah, you can do that. You can also go out to, I think, deviq.com.
Yep.
I think they've got my course out there. I bet it's at this URL right here. Whoops, hold on. I think it's SGUI. I think that's it. See if that works.
It is sgui.com.
Does that work? What do we got?
Sorry, that's different. Well, that one that you've got may very well
Yeah.
work, but I have also found this one works.
That works right here.
And there's a link on there.
Just sgui.com too. So yeah, you can go here or here. This has got courses, lots of great stuff in here. All right, so I can say let's align these left, and I can say let's distribute these evenly vertically. So watch, when I click this button, it's gonna pop and make that one, so it's the same space between the other two. I can now group these. There's this button right down here. So there's my group button right like there. And now I've got those grouped. I can now control click and drag this to make a copy of it, bring it over here, flip it left and right like that, right? So it's very easy and fast to lay elements down into my dungeon, right? That's what's going on there. Still don't have a way to save. So that's what we're working on today, saving. Okay,
cool.
So good UI, just talking about this, right? I notice I don't see those extra buttons now when I can't do them, right? There's no...
there is one item and therefore it cannot be aligned with anything.
Yeah. And I think you were here, Rory, when we figured out how to do the multiple combinations.
The rotation and flipping.
Yeah, the rotation and flipping. And when we did that, and I'm so glad you were here with us for that. So that was awesome. That was
a journey.
Yeah. We also have the ability to change the hues of these things, change the saturation level, that sort of thing. So we can play with these objects right here, and crank up the contrast, whatever we want to do to make it fit the scene, okay, that we're building. Okay, so there's that. Also, by the way, out on, speaking of the other show, Dragon Humpers, if you're on Twitter, there's a new Twitter account. If you were interested in following that, you can see, let's see, is that going to work? There you go, right there. So that's Twitter. You can go follow Dragon Humpers out there. Do a set for Mark and Roy to humbly drop in the link. Thanks, Hugo.
Well done, Hugo.
I missed the subtle part of that. Okay, so here's what we've done so far in this. We've got this function called get flyweight. It's a generic function, right? We're saying I want a map region, and here's the GUID ID, and I'm assigning it to this property called parent, which is, as you might guess, defined as a map region. And when I go to serialize, I'm ignoring it. So I'm avoiding the circular references when I serialize. That map region is already going to be stored as part of the map. And now I'm just borrowing it, essentially. I'm coming in and saying, hey, I want to get it. The parent, I want to get it. So, oops, I'm just tabbing to next references through all the parents. What I wanted to do is get in, say parent is equal to get flyweight. Yeah, so just passing in the parent GUID. So that'd be cool. So we are going to serialize the parent GUID. And I think that's cool. I think we can also do this. It just occurred to me that in the implementation of get flyweight, we wanted to see if the GUID is equal to, if GUID equals g.e or GUID.empty, which, by the way, I'm on the show, it's called Code Rush. I am dog fooding Code Rush, an add-in for Visual Studio, which, by the way, if you're watching and want a free copy, let me know in the chat room. Let Rory know. And we will get you a free copy of it. It's worth $49.99. And we're dog fooding this live as well. So
feel free to ask questions. If we produce code quicker than is normally the way you produce, and you want to know how, ask a question. Yeah. Ask how it works. We're happy to demonstrate anything that's going on.
Yeah, I just typed in RN right there for return null. Right. For example, there's like RF for return false, RT for return true, R0. All kinds of templates are in there. I want RN in this case. So there's get flyweight. Pretty cool. So now if it's parent good is like this. Anytime I need a reference to another class, instead of serializing it, I'm going to turn it into a GUID. That's my pattern that I'm kind of doing in terms of implementation. So I've got, that's my tile. I've got my room, which descends from map region. That's got a list of tiles. I don't want to serialize those, but I do want to serialize. Hold on a second. I want to do some renaming here. Get the tile GUIDs. And like that. And get the tile GUIDs and invalidate. I'm going to call this invalidate the tile GUIDs. And add tile. When I add a tile, I'm going to go into tiles.add and call invalidate tile GUIDs, like that. Yep, Rory's in the chat. That's right.
Yeah.
Coding Gorilla's with us. Coding Gorilla, you are next, by the way, for fanfares. I'm like, several times in the last couple of days, I've been like, do I have enough time? Can I squeeze in some time to do Coding Gorillas? And the answer has been, unfortunately, no, because things are going crazy. But when things settle down, yeah, it may be 2 or 3 weeks away. How do you get a free copy? Okay, CloudHawk 13. That's all you need to do. I'm about to DM you right now with your. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to slow down the. I'm not going to slow down the stream on this.
That's all right.
Rory,
We'll make a note of that.
Send me an email on that. I will DM you after the stream. CloudHawk 13. You got CloudHawk 13?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Send me that via email or stick it in our Skype chat, and I will and then I will DM you on Twitch with how you can get instructions. Okay. All right. So let's see. We're adding a tile. We're going to invalidate the tile GUIDs, and then we'll re-get those whenever we need to get those. So invalidating the tile GUIDs, all it does is just sets that field variable to null. And then when somebody's asking for them, we're going to come in there and do that. Let's rename this property to tile GUIDs, like that. So we're really only going to ask for this property when we serialize and stream out. Yeah. No worries. Okay. Reconstitute Flyweights. Call this after serializing from disk. Those are on the rooms. Okay. So let's go back to the map. So I think we've taken care of the map region. The map region is the ancestor for both corridors and rooms, which essentially are collections of tiles. Okay, we're not going to serialize the tiles. We are going to instead serialize the GUIDs for those tiles. I don't have a place yet where I'm assigning GUIDs to the tile.
Okay.
And I'm not sure where to do that. Also, just as you showed up, I created an iFlyweight like this. Okay. So iFlyweight's got this, but it also needs something else as well. I think it needs a reconstitute. Let's go look at tile again. This is what I was looking at when things went crazy. Reconstitute. This is what I need to call. So if it implements iFlyweight, and let me rename file to match the type. I need this, reconstitute. Okay, so that's called after deserialization. And this one is needed for serialization. I might turn this into an XML doc comment in a bit, but that's what we have right now for those. Okay, so iFlyweight is there. That means we need to, let's close that down. We need to, in our map region, we also need to implement iFlyweight. So there's the GUID. We just need to also add reconstitute. Looks like I bet it added it down here at the end. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this one. And then we have this. Okay, so now when we come back in and we have our tile GUIDs, we want to essentially come in and do a for each tile GUID in tile GUID, do list of tiles. This will be created when we create a new instance of this. We want to say tiles.add. And then we want to say, no, actually we don't. There's an add tile, isn't there, already in here? That's what we want. Add tile. And then we want to come in and say map dot. We don't have a map reference, a parent map in map region. Looks like we don't. I want to get some music playing here. See if we can do that. Okay, so we need a parent map in here. So public IMAP interface map.
So something that implements the iFlyweight pattern is essentially like an ingredient. Okay, it could be an egg in a cake, and maybe you need 5 of them, but each egg is identical, at least as far as the needs of the recipe go. So we might have a tile that has a particular surface on it, and it's like all the other tiles in the rest of the room that have that surface, but we only need to specify one of them and then say, well, there's a big list of them, and they happen to be in these locations.
Yes, exactly. Wanadza says, hey, Rory, just realized that you're affiliated with DevExpress. Such a cool tool, says Wanadza.
It is. It's very cool.
We're doing our best, kids. We're doing our best. Every 30 days, we release a new version of it. That's part of the reason why I haven't had time to work on Coding Gorilla's fanfare, because like I'm working on DevExpress stuff over the weekend, right? Doing all kinds of stuff. So to get stuff set up, whenever we transition from the about to release to starting the next release, I'm usually pretty busy. In fact, one of the new features we're adding, I was like, over the weekend, I was like, oh no, are we going to get ourselves into a trouble in terms of how I want to expand this feature? Because I want it to go, there's a direction I want it to go beyond. And do I need to pull the feature last minute because of that? And I was sitting at lunch with my family and I'm like, kids, guess what? We don't have to do that. It's going to be okay. I figured out how we're going to be able to expand and everybody's going to be happy. And they're like, okay, but we're just here to eat lunch and talk about family stuff. And so anyway, yeah. So yes, we are affiliated with
DevExpress.
and we make
Code
code.
Rush.
All right. So anyway, that's the little bit about what we're doing. So yeah, and we're dog fooding like crazy. There was a bug at the beginning I found and reported. So we're looking for edge case bugs. And when I report a bug on the stream, what's cool is the devs get a link automatically to the time and point when the bug occurred. They get the log files are all sent to them. I even can check in the entire code base and have them so they can work on it. So very cool. Really nice to hang out with you guys. Wanadza, great to hang out with you too. Yeah, Rory is kind of like an external kind of sometimes DevExpress guy.
Yeah, I've been hanging out with you guys for a while.
Yeah, he's been hanging out for a while. He's on contract, and so we contract him to help out with us because we have offered multiple times just work for us full time, but he's like, I'm working, over here, and I got responsibilities here. I got to stay there. So we're like, all right. So it's always
I love to do this kind of stuff and hang out whenever I can. Really,
it's always like this. It's always like, Rory, we got more time, and he's like, yeah, maybe not. So, but we always, Genesis Goose 7 says Rory's great. Rory's just a helpful voice in the ether. I would say more than a helpful voice. Rory is awesome, especially when when my wife is like, what did you mean by that, Mark? And Rory's on the show and he can hear her. He's like, tell her, this is the good way of looking at what you just said, which you never should have said, Mark. And then I say it and she's like, oh, okay. She's like, Rory's not telling you what to say, is he? I'm like, no. Uh-oh. Sorry about that, kids. That was from the other show. You want to see can we do this? Can we do this? I don't think we can. This is a family show. I'm not going to show the other part. That was a previously on Dragon Humpers. So,
that's the teaser trailer.
Yeah, that was for the other show. There might be stuff we cannot say in there. It's incredibly funny though. All right. So let's go back over to this. This is like, I feel like, I'm developing ADHD on this show because it's like let's write some code. We haven't actually written any code. Let's get in there and do that. Okay, so map interface. Now we need to set this. I want this to be a property because I'm going to, I'm going to deal with that. So I think I want to call this parent map is what I want to do. Let's see when we're creating a new instance of this guy. I wonder if there's a CodeRush way to search for only creations, instantiations of this and descendants. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
Will it?
That's a great feature, by the way. That ability to find things
All right.
that are descended from, implemented by, the member level, the class level. Fantastic issue.
We're going to request this. All right. So this is a feature request. Kids, I want this, and I want this pretty soon. I want to be able to hit the CodeRush key, and I want to jump to not only instantiations of this class, but instantiations of this and descendants. I think it's incredibly useful. So give it to me. Give me a menu option here, because right now I go to instantiations and it says sorry. So now what I have to do is I have to come in and I hit the nav key and say, let's go to derived types. Okay, now I got to go to room, and then now I got to hit the key again. Oh my God, you see what I'm doing? Now I got to say, now get me instantiations like this. All right, so here's my new room coming from map, and guess what I want to do? I'm going to change what I bet you corridor is the same. It only has one instantiation. Let's look at this here. And if they both have only one instantiation from that location, yep, it's from map. So that's an easy fix. What we're going to do is come over here, hit the CodeRush key. Oh, guys, here's another back-to-back CodeRush feature request. Why don't I have add parameter here? I don't like that. I can do this, though. Change pass in this, like this. I guess maybe this is have it so the devs know where the end of this is, the feature request is. And this feature request is for jump to instantiations of this and descendants. I don't know, that's like really wordy. Don't need the log on that. Don't need the time rollback. That's going to close that up right there. What?
Hey, Copperbeardy.
We'll give it to him. Second one. All right. While that plays, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this here and here. And then let's go ahead and generate room without fields.
In the house.
And do the same up here at this one. Without fields. And then I want to come in here and I want to go to base and pass in map as well. Actually, I want to change the type of this to IMAP interface. Like that. And I want to, similarly, I want to go over to room. Go jump in on that. Change this to IMAP interface. Call base from here as well. Pass in map. Let's declare that. Without fields. Dive into it. And then we're going to say parent map is equal to map. Like that. Okay. So now that we construct, now we're going to have a parent map. Now that we have a parent map, when we go to Reconstitute, we can come in here and say, hey, parent map, get me the Flyweight, and I'm going to pass in the GUID. Okay, and I'm calling add tile because I've got it from all the tile GUIDs. Look at this, it's beautiful, it's brilliant. It's like it's as if we're geniuses, Rory.
Oh yeah. What do you mean, as if?
It's as if we're not. We're not. Kids, because, on the show, you know how we get things done?
Brute force and ignorance.
That's how we get things done.
Mm-hmm.
We're running in it with healthy doses of both. That's what we're doing. So we're doing it. All that thing makes my head smoke. That's right, Genescu 7. Thank God Genescu 7 is here. All right, what do we got here? So this Reconstitute is awesome. That's awesome. We also need, though, to reconstitute. Don't we have another property in here? This is a map region. No, I guess we don't. Now, this serialization here, the parent map, we need to say no. We're not going to serialize that.
Mark doesn't know Jack.
Look at that. Surly Dev collected like 20,000 coins, and as a result, he's now got power level, ability in terms of bringing up the different scenes that we've got here. He's like become a god. And it's unfortunately I must worship. It comes with the whole thing. You get 20,000 coins. It's like, all right. So let's see. Is there anything else in here? Any other properties that we need to look at here? Oh, let's do this. Let's see if Code Places can help us. Can Code Places show us the properties? Yeah, here we go. GUID, height, parent map, tile, GUIDs, tiles, width. I think we're good. Everything else will be recovered through serialization. So map region looks to be done. So I feel good about that. Let's save that. Now let's come into map. We got some sort of, do we have any reconstitute here? I don't think we do. Do we have any calls here? We just have this one as well. We have this one, which is going to go to flyweights. Well, it's got get flyweight. That's what this should be. It should be get flyweight, not reconstitute. Is anybody calling this? No one. Excellent. But I bet people are calling get flyweight because we've already added that to IMAP interface. Yeah, that's sweet. Okay, this is, I feel like there's a shot this is going to work.
Putting her that coins mean power, and he's off. He's running. He's going for the coins.
Yeah, this like these are just sample games. You can fly around. Mike, you probably get a sense of how you fly. It looks like Mike's figured it out. Yeah. All right. So we've got add tile there. Call this after serializing from disk. So we need to call this in our rooms. So let's go back to the map. The map. Let's look at what the map has now. Let's use Code Places, CodeRush Code Places, to look at the properties here. Do we have a sort by type here? I feel like we do. Do I have to go into options to get to that? Sort Code Places by accessibility kind and the name. I will do by kind and the name. No, wait. Well, I am doing accessibility. Arguably, I only have to worry about the public properties anyway. Let's go back in here one more time. Yeah, so we've got all tiles. That's a tile array. I'm not sure what we're going to do on this yet. These are not going to be serialized because they're private. We have a list of all corridors. That's going to be serialized as well. This I don't think we need to worry about because it's only got a getter. I think it by default will not do it, or do I need to do JSON ignore? I guess we'll figure out as we run. It'll give us a runtime error if there's a problem. My list of all rooms is similar to my list of all corridors. So after I deserialize, I'm gonna have to have some sort of function called like reconstitute, where I'm gonna go into all of these. Let's build this right now. I'm gonna drop a marker here, and drop a marker here. I'm gonna come down maybe near the bottom, and I'm gonna say reconstitute. It's my method, reconstitute, and no parameters to it. Let's go back up to rooms. Come back down and then say for each room, we're going to say room dot reconstitute, like that.
Seems good.
Hold on though. We need that. That's super important to make this work. Make sense, Rory? Because we're not serializing that. Yeah, this is a little tricky to get this all right the first time. I'm not sure if we're going to, how close we're going to get. I can certainly do that drone march. All right, so there's my reconstitute. For each room, I'm going to duplicate that, and we're going to change this to corridor, like that, in corridors, like that. Okay, so we've now done those things because the room now has the parent map, and the parent map now has the tiles. I think I'm going to serialize this. I think I can't. Wait, actually, this we cannot do. Hold on. Jason cannot handle two-dimensional arrays, I think. Let's see if that's true. Serialize two-dimensional or multi-dimensional. Got serialize spelled incorrectly. Serialize multi-dimensional arrays. Jason. Let's see what we get. Yeah, I sure did mean that. Nice. Okay, good. All right. We might have a slight problem with our multi-dimensional array. I got a solution for it. We're not going to serialize all tiles. So we're going to Jason ignore this. I've got another property in here that's got another list of all the tiles. We're also not going to serialize this. I think. Well, maybe. We will. I think we will, because it'll be easier to do it. Let's, we'll go ahead and do that. This is going to be our magic guy right here. So we're not doing all tiles. So check it out. What we're going to do is we're going to come in here and we're going to say, hey, for each tile in tiles, do. Then we're going to say, this property we've got called tile, what is it? All tiles, right? All tiles, the multi-dimensional array.
Yep.
Insanity up there on the stream right there. There's the multi-dimensional.
It's a little mad. I can't imagine who'd be responsible for that.
I wonder if I want to change this to tile map. I'm not sure. All tiles is not as tiles 2D. Like that. I think I want to call it tile map. That's what I think I want to call it. It's a little bit redundant inside of a class called map, but I'm going to call it tile map. Okay. By the way, once we start serializing, we really don't want to start renaming things. So I want to make sure all our names, look at that. That's gravity on the sun. They just switched to the moon. Now look at how things are dropping. This, by the way, is all to scale. I guess I don't try to say that. So tile map is here. So now what I'm going to do is, well, look at this, build map arrays. This is exactly what I want to do. Look at that. I need to create a new instance of the array when I reconstitute this map, right? I want to set these up as well, and I want to do this. Where's this called from? Anything else I want to do? Get all rooms and corridors. I don't need to do that. I don't need to certainly call this, because I don't need this code. Determine space types. What's this? Has 3 adjacent to space type as a room. Nope, we're going to serialize that. I don't need that. Clear all spaces, corridors clear. Okay, we're good. We don't need that. Build map arrays, set map size. The rows and columns, no, those are going to be serialized, right? There you have getters and setters. Sweet. Okay. So the only thing I need is build map arrays. I need to call that from wherever we were in Reconstitute. Here we go. Build map arrays. That's going to do what I wanted to do here. So that's going to they're gonna build that. The rooms are gonna be serialized. I'm feeling like we're close to done. I feel like we're close to done. At least on this. See what a build does for us. Any errors right now? Anything I'm missing?
Well, we've got our map, and within that we've got our tile
Build succeeded.
map. We're not serializing whether it's a room or a corridor because we can recalculate that later.
Yeah, we have no call to actually serialize yet to save the map and no call to load. So we need to add those, is what we need to do. So let's add those calls right now. So we're going to say save. Should the map have its own file name? I'm kind of feeling like it should.
Yeah.
Hold on, there's something else going on. Somewhere in here, I think in tile, there's a property called image. We do not want to serialize the image. Where's the image? Come on, is it here? I thought it was here. Is it simply just file name? No. Oh wait, is there another class called floor tile? We used to have that, but then Nope. All right, let's look for image.
Any other descendants of tile?
Stamp layer. Hold on, we're not done, kids. The layers. We're not done, unfortunately. We've just got the rooms. Hold on, let's go find the layers. Uh-oh, no layers here. The layers are in the wrong place. The layers are here, kids. Hold on. It's going to involve some thought. This is here because we're dealing with the implementation of this in WPF. So I have these different layers. I've got a layer for depth where I draw the 3D over the tile. I've got a layer where I draw the doors. I did have a layer where I was drawing debris, but I don't think I'm doing this anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, we're done with debris. I'm going to kill debris layer. Now it's only there. Okay, so that's gone. So I've got a floor layer, a depth layer, a stamps layer where we're dropping stamps. I've got a door layer and I've got a wall layer. This is kind of the order in which things are drawn. I'm going to add at some point a ceiling layer. These layers, I'll show you what the class looks like. Well, what's it got? It's got a writable bitmap. I don't think we need to save it. So the question is, what do we need to save about the layer? Because all of this is kind of calculatable.
Yeah.
The tile...
And that's the rule, isn't it? Is that anything that's raw data, anything that's source information has to be saved. Anything that can be calculated from that doesn't need to be.
Yeah, uh-oh. UI element floor. We got more trouble. Selector panel. We got some trouble here. Hold on. This might be a multi-day endeavor. Add element over tile. UI element is equal to floor. Add element over tile. This. All right, this needs to be extracted into its own method. And this is going to be add UI elements over tile, I think. Add all tile overlays. get rid of the word all. Okay. And we might have to call some of these other pieces after this too. Load final canvas elements. What's here? Oh yeah. We need that after we load it, some piece in. Although all layers set index num children. This feels like load final canvas elements. I want this to be more robust, so this can be called multiple times in a session.
Mark, have you got some kind of random facility for the volume of the music over our Skype connection?
No, I do not.
It's been.
It's too loud?
I don't know if it's on the stream. I don't think it is, but it's been going very much higher, sometimes over your volume, and then suddenly lower again, and there doesn't seem to be any consistency with it.
Is it low now?
It's very low now. I can't barely hear it now. But,
how's that?
Yeah.
I've got an individual dial just for you. I've got an individual slider just for you, Rory. How's that? Is that okay?
That's cool. Yeah.
All right. You tell me what you tell me what you want. Full Stack Live is ready with a party for Full Stack Live.
Welcome everybody.
Thank you.
Come join the fun.
Full Stack Live. Welcome very much. Welcome. Glad to have you with us here. And Rory, you want to tell people what we're doing while I write this code?
Yeah. Well, if you've never been to this channel before, we are building a Dungeons and Dragons command and control center, and indeed the Dungeons and Dragons facilitator for a second stream that we'll be taking off, wherein Mark and some of his friends will be, foraging into the jungle, into the dungeons, going on adventures with a dungeon master, and thus the tools for dungeon master are being created. This particular section is regarding a map creation facility, which we've done a large quantity of. So there's building of dungeons, rooms, objects in those rooms, scaling them, putting them in the right positions, aligning them, all that kind of stuff. And this particular piece is where we're trying to serialize the parts of that information that are necessary to transmit to a second application that will render this on a stream for a viewing audience. That sounds about right, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's what we're doing. All right, so... Oh, do I seriously already have a call to it? Did I already just rewrite a method I didn't need?
D&D, what a bunch of nerds. Yeah, pretty much. Nailhead.
Somebody's calling me a nerd?
Oh, badge of honor, mate.
I will fight you with Magic the Gathering to defend my honor, mister. Full Stack Live, thanks for showing up, buddy. Wow. This is, by the way, a continuing argument I have with my wife all the time. I am not a nerd. I am not a geek. I promise you I'm cool. She's like, oh, right. That's kind of
what does they say? The geek shall inherit the earth?
I don't know. Yeah. Dude, I
That's
collect
the way
mechanical keyboards. Right? You do Full Stack Live. That's awesome. I love that. I want to create my own custom mechanical keyboard built for developers. That's what I want to do. With a portion that's kind of similar to Stream Deck, where you've got buttons that are lit up with data next to them, specifically for declaring things, refactoring things, and so the buttons with screens behind them. Just section, not the whole keyboard, off to the side. So I can declare, I can navigate, I can refactor, I can increase the selection, decrease the selection. And the buttons change depending on my mode. So if I'm in design mode, I can hit some buttons to select, like for example, select the parent control of the one that's selected, that sort of thing, or select the first child, move to the next sibling, that sort of thing. Or if I'm debugging, I can have buttons for debugging, that sort of thing. Or if I'm in the editor, so buttons that change depending on the mode I'm in. And then I want to build tooling for it. That's what I want to do. But I don't know, it's probably going to cost me like $10,000, and it's like a whole new project, but it's on my list of things I want to do.
There are people who have done that for like entire keyboards. There's a commercial offering that is sort of like what you're describing.
Yeah, no, it
I think
doesn't.
it's got full
Yeah.
LEDs for every key, but
Yeah.
I don't know how many additional keys they have.
No,
which is kind of what you mean.
they kind of stopped producing, and it was super expensive. It was $1,500 for the keyboard. Stream Deck has a great way of doing it. They've got buttons floating over a big screen with space behind the buttons, and they've got software that controls what the image is behind each button, and the buttons are clear plastic that you can see through. It's got a great feel to it. I'm like hitting the buttons now. Here, I've shown you this before. Here's a. Can I bring this up or not? Yeah, I just don't have. Yeah, I've got all my cable ties on, everything, and so everything's kind of tied down, so I can't quite bring it up into the camera view. Okay, we had problems over in Tile. So this, by the way, so I think the code we just created is going to rebuild these pieces, the tile element, element overlay, and the selector panel. I think all of those are handled in this function in map called, wait. I want to take these similar methods and bring them together. Put this down the bottom. So, save, prepare for serialization. We're going to need that. Call. We are going to need, here we need to call, what is it called? Build what? Map arrays. I think that's what it is. No, this is not here. This needs to be in Reconstitute, which I don't think I have a function for yet. No, wait, here. Oh, we got it already. We have it. There it is. Build map arrays. Good. So build map arrays. Oh, no, wait, it's not build map arrays. It's another one. What is that other one that we were just looking at? It look for UI element, I think. Still with me, Rory?
Say again?
I just want to check and make sure you're still with me.
I'm still here. That music is still going up and down a little randomly. It's quite strange, but
I've got
I almost feel like Surly Dev's maybe got control of the volume, you know, and he's just tweaking it every now and again.
There is, he does have control of it.
But I'm seeing nothing in the chat room, so perhaps not.
Okay. What's happening in load new line? This is all part of this stuff right here. I think this is all part of parsing the file. Reset. What's reset doing? We don't need that. We don't need this or this. Skype is doing auto audio level adjustment. That might be happening. Oh, that's probably exactly what's happening. If I'm not talking, Rory.
Ah.
Is that happening for you?
It's actually fairly stable right now.
Okay, cool. Interesting. Yeah, Skype does it, and the problem is I'm not I'm not sharing my screen with you. I've got a dedicated line coming out to you that is so that is a lizard. Yikes! Looking right at me. Says Ashishing Bagal.
It's all right.
Hello?
Fred's cool.
Fred's cool. He's good. He's not saying anything today, but he's cool. All right, wait.
Keeping an eye on this.
I thought we were doing. Oh, it was out over here. Hold on. Tab to next reference on this guy. See it. Add element over tile. That's here. Add tile overlays. All right. This is what we need to call from our save out here after we load it up. So there's going to be some function here called load, passing in a file name. Here, let me scroll this up so you can see it. And then after we do this, we're going to call add tile overlays. So to do load from the file, which is really going to be, we're going to deserialize, load the map from the file.
So we're going to repeat the same kind of things that we would when we're constructing, that we do on the basis, again, of the source data. So we load the raw data out of that serialized file, and then we do all the extra calculations like the rooms and then various pieces like that.
Yeah, so we're going to do JSON ignore here. You know what, I want to create a template. So I want to do JI like that. Well, if I do JI, it gets me kind of close. Yeah, if I do this JI space, it gets me here, and I have to backspace. So it's not too bad, but I was thinking about creating a template for it. I think I'm going to do
It's
that.
JI without the square brackets, and then you'd be in.
Well, I'm still going to do the open bracket because that's the convention for templates.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Attributes here.
This, of course, is one of the great facilities of CodeRush. Not only the out-of-the-box functionality, but the ability to customize it and make your own templates, your own expansions for pretty much any text that you want to have. So, I mean, this works with C#, VB, XML, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, TypeScript, all of these languages. They're all basically just characters, right? And so with the right context, you can turn any small series of characters into an expansion, which can be huge if it needs to be. And of course, they can all be relatively intelligent because they detect the context they're in and then have pieces from here and there added into them. You see Mark here, he's making one that deliberately adds reference to a namespace because he knows that when he wants to add this attribute, he needs it to reference the Newtonsoft JSON stuff.
Did I get that right? I didn't quite get the casing right on that. Let's fix that. Get that right. All right, there it is right there. And there's my JSON ignore. So now I just save a keystroke here. So now I can go, I'm still open bracket JI, spacebar. What? My template needs a slight adjustment. If we compare our JI, suppress last character present in code. That's what we want right there. With the others, you'll see that those other ones have got that. Oh, and look, they've got context too, not in a comment or string. Let's add that context to our template as well so it doesn't expand in places we don't want it to expand. There it is right there. Add the context. And is it good? Everything else is good. Good. Okay. So now, come back in here and we do open bracket JI. And there we go. We saved ourselves a keystroke.
The nice part about that, of course, is that it didn't add the using in this particular case because it knows it's already there. Had that been missing, then it would have put it in place.
Yeah. So now if I come in here and I do JI right here, then now it adds it right up there. There you can see it up at the top. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing here. Okay. Everything else is a serializable element there of the tile that we can put out there. These will be reconstituted later outside from essentially this call of add tile overlays on the map once we bring it in. Okay, wait, there's still a layer problem though I want to look at before we get to testing this. There's a couple of layers. The initialized layers, what's going on with initialized layers? Those are simply added, that's not a big deal. But let's look at floor layer. Add floor tile. Add floor tile. It's called apply flooring. Only in that location. Texture. What's going on with texture? The base texture. Let's see what's going on with texture. So texture is something, create texture from. Process big textures. Addy dev is now following. Thanks for that follow. From load floor tiles, that's separate. Okay, so jumping back. You know what I do like about this, by the way, Rory, is we are not starting with a simple, small demo app. We are in the middle of a heavy.
We have quite the code object graph, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah, we do, and it's a great example of what's a realistic implementation of Flyweight design pattern from the standpoint of trying to save space. If we get this working, we're going to be brilliant. We're going to finally be brilliant and be in the Coder Hall of Fame, which I think they're opening up in Tallahassee, Florida. I think I'm not sure.
Okay.
Is that right? The Coder Hall of Fame. Am I right on that? Maybe not. Okay. So we had a problem though. The add floor tile, add floor overlay, these things are kind of needed. Add selector, needed.
Mm-hmm.
we need to know what the texture is. The base texture is not encoded in the tile.
That's annoying.
Wait, no, hold on. That's in the, this is the button tag. This is when we click on the button that's off the right. So this is okay at this point. But now we're adding the floor tile. Here's the problem. We're not storing the base texture here. So let's go into this. Let's go look at get image. File name and base name. I forget how these differentiate. The base name is how I address it. The file name is the actual piece at that point. Base texture. Get image. Okay, here, let's look at get image. Where is the file name? Love this song. So dramatic.
Builds nicely, doesn't it?
Okay, hold on. Random texture. It's got a list of, oh geez, list of images. Add image.
There's the file now from the add image, yeah. So what happens is it gets asked to make the image, but then in the process loses the name of that image and just keeps the image hanging around.
Yeah. And I need the file name is what I need. So when we wrote this, we weren't thinking about storage on this. And the problem is we need to change base texture so it can get us the file name for a particular image. So refactoring, we got to do it, kids. A little bit of work here.
Yep.
All right, so come in here. We need something new here. Abstract, get texture file name. Oh.
Once again, the caps lock key used for its sole purpose of turning caps lock off.
Yeah, I know. All right, so there, get texture file name. Like that, that's going to return a string like this. Okay, that's good. Let's go look at get image where it's implemented. Big texture. This is going to still, big texture is going to return file name. Okay? That's not bad. Let's look at the other, we have to do something with the other ones. So big texture is super cool. I did this technology a couple of weekends back. I didn't do it on the show, but it's super clever and cool the way it takes this really big texture and makes it fit all the tiles and wraps the whole thing seamlessly. And it will always grab the same portion of that image based on the tile's position. So if I have a position here and I say, what's your image? It's going to just grab that image. So if I've got an ocean, it'll grab the ocean at that square. And then go to the next tile and say, what's your image? It's going to grab that next part of the ocean in that big tile. And if the tile is at the end, it'll wrap around the beginning and get it again. So it's super, super clever. But for the big texture file name, we only need the file name. That's it. So that's not bad. Okay, let's keep going and looking where get image is. Because everywhere there's a get image, we need to even odd texture. So here we need to essentially do the same code in our override. Yeah, it's not pretty, I know. I'm not happy about it. But there's some optimizations we're dealing with here. All right, so now the even image is okay. I think I'm going to do this. Duplicate both of these, and we are going to change this to a string like that. Even image file name, and the same with odd image file name. And then we're going to come down in here, and we're going to say return even image file name, even image file name, and this one's going to be my odd file name, like that. And this one's going to be my odd image file name. Okay, so there we've solved this problem. Here, let's in this class. Oh, whoops, not quite. This is super important. This one's my odd image file name. Okay, so that's good. This one's good now. Get texture file name is done here. Let's go to the next get image. Override. Simple texture. Simple texture is the same as the other one, where it's just going to return the file name. Okay, and there should be another one of these. We should find one for get random, for the random texture. 4-part texture, forgot about this. Ugh, a little more work. Sorry about this, kids. It's not.
I'm not sure I remember this one.
Yeah, this one is for a 4-part where we've got upper left, upper right, bottom left, bottom right. Parts of an image. So I do it for circles and big circles and things like that, larger textures. I did that before I created the big texture technology, which could replace this. Oh, man, I thought that was going to work. And then file name. Okay, then we essentially need...
So all this is to effectively carry the file names into structures that previously didn't need them because they had just been given the actual images. But now we're going to carry those names in as well as part of the raw data, so that when we're going through the serialization process, we have that extra raw data, so we can just pass it on to whatever facility really needs it, and then it can do the loading of the images itself.
Yes. Thank you, Rory. This is why you make this show so awesome. That was bottom left. That's this one right here. Add block delimiters. S equals is a CodeRush template that gets me this far. And I can drop a marker, copy this, hit escape, and paste like that. I'm using Alt-Shift-Home to kind of go back and forth between these two places. Alt-Shift-Home goes between where I am and the last marker I dropped. Popping in here, S equal template one more time. And drop a marker, copy, and escape, and then paste like that. All right, so now I've got those bottom right images there. Then my get image, I've got to now get my. I've got to go get the other piece in here, which I think I can just get it by hitting the control dot here. Implement abstract. That should give me that. Get image. I'm going to take this, and add the words file name at the end, like this. Yeah, I know, I don't like this code. I'm not into this copying of the logic back and forth, but I'm battling between performance, which is what I originally wrote this for, which is let's just store the image, let's not load it, we don't need to do anything with that. I don't want to add more extra code in here to simplify. If I can simplify this, but then I kind of lose a little bit of perceived performance benefit, I should say. All right, let's keep going, looking through get image. I think there's one more, which is the random one. Random texture. This is the last one. Okay. This one's tricky.
How so?
Well, because this is on demand. I'm getting this. Oh wait, I could do this. I could have the same list. It's going to be beautiful. We can do it. It's not tricky.
Okay.
I think you were probably maybe looking at it and saying, Child's play, Miller. Child's play. Texture file name.
See, I like the way that I question something and it's automatically perceived that I had a better answer.
Genius.
That I never had to come up with in any way.
Of course,
to
you were
prove.
genius. You were genius. All right, so there's that. Oh, wait, no. This is tricky. This is tricky. I need a get image and file name. I think I need, because the problem is, this is not going to be reliable. If I pass in the same thing, what's going to happen is my random generated textures are going to look slightly different every time I load them. And I really want them to be saved and persistent. This is going to take a little more extra work, is what I think it's going to take. And I think it's going to need, I think we're going to have to modify get image. I'm going to do it.
Okay.
So we're going to get rid of get texture file name. That's what I think we're going to do. That's what I think we're going to do. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so this, I didn't know what I was thinking about. So I'm going to hit tab next reference, just grab it and get rid of it here. Actually, everywhere I see it though, let me change get image first, because then I want to take the existing code. So now I'm going to change get image, and let's see if Coder's can help us here. I'm going to add a parameter. It's going to be an out parameter, and it's going to be of type string, and it's going to be the file name, the image file name.
Hearing me live now, Mark?
I can hear you now.
There was a point there for me at least where our connection and the stream seemed to die. It could have just been my connection, but it seemed to happen at the exact moment that Sex Positive showed up, which makes me suspicious.
Honey? Miller? What does Fred sound like? Okay, we were talking about this earlier today. Should I do a voice for Fred? What do you think? So Fred normally doesn't talk, but I was thinking Fred would be like this. Fred, happy. Fred, happy. Fred, happy. I don't know, something like that. I don't know if I should do a voice for Fred or not. No? Shirley Dove says no.
See, so far he's kind of like the Penn and Teller combo, isn't he?
Stream also cut out, says XL809. Always be suspicious, says X Positive. Always be suspicious. So I'm going to say tile dot texture file name equals image file name, like that. Okay, we're working our way through it. How you doing, honey? Did you just call me Karen Miller? I didn't call you Karen Miller.
I heard nobody say that.
Nobody said that, baby.
No.
You were.
I didn't see anybody type that either.
Yeah, nobody typed that. Nobody said that. We love you. I a whole bunch. Speaking for myself. So there's my texture file name. This is gonna be a string. Okay. Wait a second. Oh, TS. I needed to typecast that. That's why coders didn't get that. All right. I'm gonna get rid of that. Yeah, we're good. Okay, let's go into get image. Let's fix the out there. Right there. Let's go tab to next reference through all of those. There's one. Is that the only one you're going to give me? Because it's got the out. All right, let me take the out away for a second. Tab to the others and change those. Get their outs in there. Escape to get back. Jump to the next one. Escape to jump back. Tab to get to the next one. Escape to jump back. Tab to get to the next one. Escape to jump back. Tab to get to the next one. Escape to jump back. Tab to get to the next one. All right. Let's pop that in there. And now we should go to all of them. There, there, there. All right. So here we're going to say image file name is equal to file name. So we're just going to take this code that we put in this get texture file name and we're going to move it over like that. Get image, get to the next one. Get texture file name. This is in random texture. Okay, now we can flip and do this. fix the random one, which is what we need to do. So in add image here, we're going to come in here and we're going to say, hey, texture file names dot add file name. So now we got a one-to-one mapping of our images and our textures. That's what we're going to do. And then now when we do come in here, we're going to say image file name equals texture file names of index. It's as if we're geniuses, Rory.
It is very close to that, isn't it?
And then we're going to get rid of get texture file name. We don't need that anymore. Okay, keep moving through get image. We've got like 2 other classes here we have to modify. This one is going to be easy. This one is going to be image file name is equal to file name. Like that. Tab and get rid of this. We don't need to get texture file name anymore. Get image. Next one. That's simple texture. We're okay there. This one's done as well already. Here we go. And you know what else is cool about this? We're getting rid of that double logic.
Oh, that's nice.
Right?
I always think
that I was complaining
my
about.
favorite code is the code that we can get rid of because we no longer need to maintain it.
Yeah, I was like, remember I was like, you know what, I don't like this code, Rory. And I was justifying it. Did you hear me? And
I do remember.
I don't know if you know this or not, but my my therapist watches this show, and whenever I say things like, you know, this code isn't that bad, he's like, he's doing this. He's like, oh, Miller's going to be talking about this code later today in therapy. Yeah, daily therapy. I recommend it. If you're a developer like me, keeps us sane. Everything's okay. What's my wife talking about in there? What's going on?
There's a lot of people walking a fine line and totally not mentioning turkeys and chickens.
Good. Oh, you know why? Because we didn't. Did we lose Sex Positive's intro?
It didn't come up as far as I could see.
The destruction.
Is in the house.
By the way, kids, I went to the Mark Miller School of Acting to learn how to do this. You too can learn how to be a great actor at the Mark Miller School of Acting. My therapist actually wore a bikini to one session. It was like unbelievable. I'm there in the parking lot with my wife. She calls in late. She was out surfing, living in Costa Rica. She walks into the office in her bikini. My wife is just looking at me like, what are you doing? And I'm like, nothing. She changed before the session, but anyway. Talk to my dog. Does he count as a therapist? Yes, he does count as a therapist. Let's not mention Mondays as a defense for your sanity. Mondays, by the way, if you guys know about Mondays, it's a podcast Karen and I met on. And in fact, what's crazy about the Mondays podcast is it actually, if you listen to it, you can actually hear the story of Karen and I as we, over the years, as we get married and have children, going from being married to other people to married to each other. It was a little bit insane. But yeah, and Karen's coming back. We're going to do that show on twitch.tv/Dragon Humpers. I'll put that in one more time because Rory, as part of his contract is I agreed never to make him type in the words Dragon Humpers into the chat room. So
I thought it was Dragon Jumpers. Nice woolly jumpers.
Nope. Dragon Humpers is the name of the show. It's a mature rating show. It has not gone live yet, but follow us because when we go live, it's going to be really fun Dungeons and Dragons comedy. You're going to love it. Using special effects and things that we're building, including the map editor we're building today. So anyway, that's it.
I can't wait for that personally. I think that's going to be an awesome show.
Who you don't like? Who's too Aspergery? Don't dive into Miller's Overkill Acting Academy. Could be self-suggest. Don't deep dive into Miller's past. Don't do it. Itsy bitsy weenie poker dot bikini. Yeah, it was a small bikini. Karen was like, what is going on between you and your therapist? Why are you spending so much time in therapy? So anyway, if you're a Miller Junkie, then you have seen his kids course. Oh, it's true. Little cutie.
I'd kind of been assuming that the sex positive was your therapist.
She is. We talk about a lot of stuff. Yeah, we do. The only problem is when there's the rare issue that I can't talk about with her. Yeah, I either gotta internalize or talk to somebody else. Hence therapy. All right. So what are we doing here? What did I was in the middle of writing some code. Oh, I'm down here. Image file name is even. So even, odd, even. Good. I can get rid of this. Let's just keep going. Here's where we need to grab these and return them. It's basically doing the same things we did before. So let's add block delimiters. I think I can make this faster by saying duplicate line and then adding in file name at the end. And whoops, I don't want to say return though. Sorry, I want to say image file name is equal to it. I guess I can't do it faster because I need it up on top, but all right, so it's this, and then add block delimiters, put this in here, but now I want to do the top right image, like that. Add block delimiters. Karen, you want to go to lunch? You want to have a lunch date with me today, baby? And then the last one is here. Top left. Like that. Okay. And then get texture file name is gone. And we get rid of that duplicate code that I was not liking before. And then now, yeah, lunch. Want to have lunch date with me? I'd be cheap. I'm fasting. Did I mention that? Certainly Duff likes to tell people he's fasting. I've been fasting since about just before we started the show. So I'm like on about 2 hours. Okay, so now we got the image name coming out of get image. And I think we are, I think we have code that compiles. And I think more importantly, I think we have code that might actually work, which is always a good thing, right? And I'm just reviewing all the code we just wrote, and it's got, making sure we're assigning get image file name, and it's all looking correct in terms of that code. And it does look good. We set texture file name here in our tile, and that's going to be a public property, which means it's going to be serialized. So now when we deserialize this, so now we got to go back to this. This is so much complexity in managing all of this, right? Like, oh, mind blowing. Right here, look. We've got a slight problem here. We have a slight problem with get image in that I want this to work. Oh man. Can I do this? Can I do this? Hold on. We still, the random tiles are the ones that are going to make us work hard here. Let's go find the random tiles. Oops, simple texture, we got a problem.
What is it about the random tiles that makes this more difficult?
I'll get it to you in just a second. Hold on, I want to get texture file name, get rid of that. I'm going to change this to a ref, I think is what I'm going to do. Let's tab to next reference here till we find our way into random texture. Here's the problem. The problem here is the textures don't store the file name once we've created the image. So when we do add image here, we are what's going on with the base add image? Anything here? Oh, we're assigning file name. Okay, cool. That makes sense. What makes it difficult here is because when we say get image, we call random next into one of our images, right? Then we go to get the file name and say, here's the file name. But now let's say we make this a ref, okay? Instead.
Yeah.
And now we're saying, well, if not null, then I need to get the texture from that particular image is what I need to do. And so what I need to almost do, I'm playing with how I'm going to fix this, but I think I need a list of textures in the base texture, not down below. I didn't do that because simple texture has just got a single image, but it's not hard to put that into a list in the top one with just a single entry, is what I think I'm going to do. Which may simplify this code a bit. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to do this, I think. Let's go look at add image. Yeah, sorry this is taking a while to refactor. I was not anticipating this today. This code, these 2 extra lines, I'm looking at what is beyond add image. That's what I'm looking for. These 2 extra lines, I'm okay with those because those we can fix those. Those will go away. Is that it for my wait, here we go. I think we can fix it here too. Hold on. Create image. Ooh, I think I got it. Hold on. I think I got a fast solution to this.
Our solution could potentially be good.
All right. So I am going to create a inside base texture. I'm going to create a new dictionary of string indexed images. That's what I'm going to do, like that. And so I'm going to say, call these my images. That's what I'm going to call this, like this. And then I'm going to come down in here, and I'm going to index those by file names. So I'm going to now come down here and say images.add, the texture image, at the file name as the key, like this. Okay, happy with that?
Yeah,
that is
that's
not
good.
bad. And now I'm going to create a function called getImage. Get image from file name and file name, like this, and it's going to simply just return images indexed by file name. And I'm not going
So
to
what
do.
we're saying is lunch might very well be saved.
What did you say? It might be saved.
The chat room, Karen was saying problems. There goes lunch.
There goes lunch.
But maybe not. Maybe we're going to pull this one out the fire in time.
Yeah, let's do lunch, honey. We're going to do lunch. I'm going to get out of here, and can I have 15 minutes? Love? I'll get out in 15 minutes. I would love to actually get to the point where we can serialize something here. And what's interesting, to be fair, is I'm actually working on the deserialization and serialization at the same time, looking for potential problems. Would you want to say, Rory?
Actually, I was going to mention that my dinner date has just shown up. And I may have to disappear now.
I'm gone. He abandons me. All right.
Sorry, buddy.
All right, buddy. We'll talk to you later.
But
you see where we're
same
going.
time tomorrow.
Same time tomorrow.
I can.
All right.
See you then.
It's 15 minutes? Huh, she says. All right, maybe 10. We'll do it in 10. Rory just left. We'll get out of here soon. So get image. I'm playing with the idea now of making this a ref. So the ref is basically, look, if that thing is null coming in, like that. Really, you're going to give me null here? Do I have to get a semicolon to get the null? Do not stop doing name of? Okay. So if that's null going in, I'm just going to behave normally. But if it is, I'm sorry, wait, I take that back. Let's make this a ref. But if getImage is called and that's got a value, it's going to use the image file, is what it's going to use. So let's go into that. So I think the code now looks like this. If not null, then return, it's in base, what, get image from file name, image file name. That's what it is. Okay. And sweet. That's the code we now want inside of get image. Let's make this a ref. And I want essentially the same code here. Sweet. Let's get back out. Go to the next one. Make it a ref. And add that code right there. Okay. And where else we got? There's another one. Make it a ref. There's that code. Jump back. This is the last one. Big texture, ref right there. Okay, that looks good. And here we go. Ref. All right. So that's what I want to do. One more time, I'll review all that code. I'm just looking for these two lines in every single one of these. Just tap to next reference on each one. There it is right there. There it is right there. And good. Good. I want to put a line break here just so it's a little easier to read there on each one of these. Okay, that's good. Now, add floor tile. Watch what we can do now. When we load, we need something like this when we load. I'm just going to copy all of this. So load, add tile overlays. Okay. So we don't need to work with the selection. Tile in map dot tiles right here. So for each tile, I almost think we want to remove all content. Content.children.clear. Do we have that anywhere? It's right here. Call it clear map for now. Clear map. That's going to we eliminate the need for these two lines right here. This we're going to now pass in. Shoot, texture. We need to get the texture. Hold on. How are we finding textures? debris textures. Am I using these at all? I'm not. Tile textures. Load floor tiles. So I've got it creating a texture, base name. So the image texture, okay, hold on a second. Then we need to go in back to apply flooring right in here. We need to also say I think I got to do this for now, kids. I'm sorry, but it's not the greatest, most efficient code, but I think we got to do it. So auto-implement that so we can find our way back at least. And then down in here, I need to do this. I need to say texture. No, sorry, hold on. Base texture. Base texture is equal to I don't know. I don't think I have any function that can do this yet. Get base texture. Maybe just get texture is probably better. And we're going to say tile dot base texture name. Okay. And if we have that, then we can say add floor tile base texture, and then grab the image file name in here is what we're going to do. So add, whoops, that's not what I want to do. I want to add block delimiters. Texture file name. I think I'm going to rename this to image file name. Okay. And then that takes care of that. And now we need to implement get texture. I'm going to do that, and then we'll call it a show, kids. And we'll see you tomorrow. We'll pick this right up where we're leaving off, implementing the Flyweight design pattern in this, serializing, testing this all out. Here I've got this, what do I have? There's something called textures, tile textures. Tile textures, I've got template FOD for first or default, X equals template, it gets me here. And then I'm going to say base name is equal to base texture name. And I think that's all I need there. So we still have to load the map. We still have to write the JSON code up and down. Whoops, this needs to be double equals right there. Let's see how we build. Let's see if we build. We need a save. So we're kind of midway through this whole thing. I'm not sure if I'll have any more time. Yes, early W missed Rory's exit. Let's see what we got. We got a build succeeded. Okay, let's go ahead and raid. Let's raid another channel. I'm going to go have lunch with my wife. Have a nice lunch date. I'm going to send you over to Lana Lux. Let's start the raid, kids. Say hi to Lana for me. And hope you have a good time over there. Hope she takes care of you. And we'll see you tomorrow. All right? Have a good day, guys, kids.